So I think we are complete somehow. Welcome to tonight's art discussion, Art and the Imaginative. The nice thing for me is I see people I know for a long time and a lot of new faces which I just briefly met. So welcome all, and I hope you will have an inspiring evening and moment with me together. Most of all, I want to thank my mother that she creates this space and these situations 20 years. So, congratulations, Mom. I have been leading discussions covering various aspects of art and psychology for the Art Cabinet Nantucket since its founding 20 years ago. It has been an immense and inspirational pleasure to have been given the opportunity to combine two of my greatest passions in an open, interactive forum in which new ideas can freely flow. Please see this as the beginning of a dialogue and feel free to ask questions to the group following to the discussion and to me personally thereafter. As I think through this lecture, contemplating topic, content, and structure, it took quite a few iterations before I felt comfortable with the title Art and the Imaginative. As you might assume, the foundation of my thought process is a German one. I started with the German word Schöpfungskraft, which there is simply no English translation. That surprised me because English is this language of words. It has so many more words than German does. So I just couldn't understand why I cannot find a translation for Schöpfungskraft. So this then brought me to two related conceptual anchors. The first being the German word Schaffenskraft, simplistically translated as creativity, and the second being the German word Vorstellungskraft, equally simplistically translated as imagination. So it took two words which are not even describe the one word I was looking for. So missing from these translations is that I feel is the true essence of each of these words, which had much to do with the primal viscerality of the act of creation itself, and opposed to the clean conceptual process of creativity and imagination. The imaginative, as used here, is intent to include this primal energy inherent in and released during the process of creating something new, something wholly original, out of disparate objects and disaggregated thought processes. This process, during which fantasy, imagination, the suspension of the word of the possible, drive, patience, and the fixation on a singular or multiple singular vision interact to enable the creation of something new, something original, maybe even something unique. For example, Picasso.
It happens.
It's Picasso.
Oh, this is Picasso, actually. So, Picasso, it's no problem, Anne. Perfect, thank you. So, he tried to combine destruction and beauty, things which absolutely don't go together at all. So nobody would think you can create beauty through destruction. How could you do that? That can be a thought, like these unique things, these unique something can be a thought, an action, or work of art. The English word that I felt best embodied this process of creation is the imaginative. And actually that word doesn't really exist because it's not, it is es ist ein Adjektiv in a Substantiv, you know. Yeah, exactly, thank you. The word imaginative is a derivation of several Latin words. First, imago, which encompasses conceptual notions as varied as an image, a mirage, an idea, an essential image, a wax mask or a silhouette, and the Latin word imitari, or imitate or emulate. And finally, the third word, the Latin word aemulari, which is to vie for, compete with. The imaginative, as used here tonight, encompasses the meaning or the essence of each of these three Latin words. Everything we create, a thought, a sentence, a poem, a work of art, everything created by humanity is inherently an abstraction of reality. It is derived from an influenced by reality, but it is not reality itself. Anything that is the product of a human ingenuity passes through the filter of the mind, which removes its objectivity. The fundamental idea here is that a picture, any picture, doesn't matter what, is not reality. A picture is an abstraction of reality, an imitation of reality, and conceptually in competition with reality. Let me give you another example in mathematics. An imaginary number is not a real number at all, but a complex number having its real part equal to 0. Imaginary numbers do not exist in the real world. They exist in any necessary only to complete abstract theory. Does that make them any less real? Conceptually, then, the imaginative represents an abstraction of reality, something not actual real, something not tangible, something not previously existing, therefore something new. That's what I call the new in this situation. When I refer to the new, you know what I mean. When you look, why is this so important for art and for the psyche? When you look around the gallery, you wander through the garden admiring Billy Sherry's sculptures, you will notice that none of what you see is trying to be representation of reality. For example, if you try to connect that which you see here, anything, any painting, any sculpture, to realism in painting, or ultimately to a photograph. Like if I were to photograph something like this, you will notice that it is not just because of the second and the third dimension missing the same. It is the guiding perspective or vision of the artist that creates the believable abstraction of reality. My belief is that only this primal energy, the imaginative, enables us to create something new or truly unique, something which unites the visible with each individual's interpretation, and in doing so creates for each of us something that is wholly original. For example, if each of us were to look at an object in this room, each of us would have a different response to. And if I would ask you to give me the perfect objective description of what you see, everyone would describe differently. We would have as many descriptions as we have persons in this room. The deeper this primal, visceral energy penetrates reality, the stronger the emotional impact of, or each individual's emotional response to, that object will be. This is the essential difference between a craftsman and an artist, and between an artist and a genius. And it is here that you will find the connection to the psyche. The imaginative is a synonym for concepts including the power of imagination, fantasy, and visualization. In the science of psychology, we understand the psychological ability to recall and even enhance past experience and feelings through an abstract process of visualization in the mind's eye. That means we can feel and see these experiences vividly with our mind. Some people can easily access their ability to do this. For others, it is very difficult to create and recall these visual images. For centuries, Medici have been using imagination and visualization for healing purposes. Today, psychologists use depth psychology or hypnosis to help their clients access images deeply buried in their souls to help balance their psyche. Psychotherapy leverages a patient's imagination to help with the recollection and visualization of mental images. These hidden images are like images in a dream, except that they are conjured while the individual is awake and thus become visible in the conscious mind. To support their clients, psychologists develop exercises designed to help them relax and to give them relief from inner stress and pain, and to eventually help them to find inner peace. The deeper the creator can access the productive, creative, visual reservoir of the imaginative, the more original and the more unique will be his or her work. The deeper a client can access his or her imaginative, the more sustainable the feeling of relief and happiness. The quality and depth of these feelings is dependent on the spectrum of one's empathic ability and imaginative power. It is not the complete, the perfect, or the gift that brings sustainable happiness. It is that which one creates, develops, connects, feels for oneself, that brings us into balance and lends meaning to our lives. Why can small children play for hours and hours at the beach with nothing more than sand, water, and maybe a few rocks, but be utterly and completely content? In comparison, a matchbook car would hold their attention for just a short time, and they will be looking for or demanding something new. Even that which is special or exclusive can only hold the imagination for a limited time and need to be continuously enhanced to provide a level of contentment similar to the level of satisfaction enabled by the process of the imaginative. Increasingly, the world buries us in opportunities not to have to imagine anything, not to have to create anything, not to have to abstract or connect anything. In the name of luxury and convenience, everything is handed to us, pre-built, pre-made, pre-booked, prepared, pre-processed. Our imaginative self and the hunger of contentment and happiness grows to an extent that material goods cannot begin to satisfy. Just the opposite, with increasing consumption and the associated decrease in creativity, we lose our natural balance without even understanding why. We don't know it. It is a slow process. It happens and suddenly it's there. And we think that we have to go to a psychologist. So it is our creative energy, our fundamental perception of ourself, our individual abilities that will lead us to deeper, sustainable contentment. Betsy Potluck once said, and I have the pleasure that she is here, to such a big surprise, thank you. She said once, and I quote you now, "Without painting, I would have gone crazy. Painting brings me the peace, the contentment that my intellect cannot find because reality of the world throws my soul so thoroughly out of balance. My paintings are the expression of the tenderness, the peace, the balance that I cannot find in life." The shades of sorrow or happiness we feel or visualize lie in processing these impressions through the eye into the mind, both true happiness and deepest sorrow are the natural results of an heightened ability to unleash the force of the imaginative. As you walk in the garden, surrounded with Billy Sherry's monumental sculptures, ask yourself if you can feel this creative force. Tonight, I wish you all that you are inspired both by the visual and the intellectual stimulation, that you can open your eyes and your heart to your deepest thoughts and feelings, to reconnect, to rediscover, and to relive precious moments of true happiness. Thank you for your attention.
I have to congratulate her, and I only hope that you, from the sound, that you could understand. And to have her here giving this lecture to the 20th year of the existence of the Art Cabinet, I think it's a wonderful thing. Thank you for coming, and enjoy now a little glass of champagne with us. Thank you. Thank you.
I studied the expressive arts in Switzerland. Of course, it's the internal transfers, just that the opening and the phenomenology of